time is now.
Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon in the UK, in America, everywhere in the world. We are live with NUFC Talk TV, and we got news to talk about, ladies and gents. Smash the like button, don't forget to subscribe, become a member if you can, super chat if you can do that. If not, just smash the like button. It's free, it doesn't cost you a dime, or a penny, or a pen, whatever it may be. Or North Korean krona. Smash the like button, folks. How welcome to NUFC Talk TV. It's Chris the American Mag alongside the Mighty Win in today's show. In today's daily show, we got a few things to talk about, of course. Always something to talk about with Newcastle United. But I saw a comment there by Mighty Quinn. Are we concerned about Waldemari's performance last night? Man, why do we have to be concerned? Why do we have to be? What the heck is going on? That was you singing. That was you singing. What the heck? Why do we have to be concerned about Waldemari's performance? I mean, Germany wasn't good at all, and you had it here, the Waldemar watch along, and it did so well that, ladies and gents, tonight again. At 7:20 p.m., we will be doing the Tonali watch along. So Sandro Tonali facing the mighty and powerful Estonia. So we're going to be taking a look at that one, see how Sandro Tonali plays. These are good things, because it broadens our, well, especially Mighty Wins because he doesn't watch other football. It broadens his, panorama on football. It broadens his mind, and he sees, oh, wow, look, there's other teams in the world. I didn't know that. So now he can watch it, and maybe Sandro Tonali plays in a different way, and we can see that in how would he be able to perform like that for the Toon. So I think that's good, and we'll be live again 7:20 p.m. UK tonight with the Sandro Tonali watch along, and we might start doing that, by the way, because it did really well last night. It performed really well. So thank you everyone that joined the Waldemar watch along. It's going to be a little tougher to do the Bruno watch along because South America plays really late. Really late, like at, 6 p.m. would be a midnight UK, so I guess that would be a bad deal. But sometimes they do 1 o'clock, 2 a.m. in the morning in the UK. Yeah. So hey, you never know,
And we still watch them, believe it or not.
And we still watch them, exactly. So what's the? And listen, if
I'm using the royal we, I still watch them.
I still watch as well.
Funny enough, I do watch other football.
Oh, there you go.
Probably a damn sight more than you watch.
I highly doubt that. But hey, listen, it is what it is. Corey, on one of our own, says nothing to be concerned about. Is there a way? Do we need to be worried at all? David Buxton here's not worried at all. Germany played crap all around. Exactly. I mean, there's nothing he could have done, really.
On the odd occasion that he did get involved, I made it kind of in the 90 minutes. I counted 5 involvements that he had opportunities, and 4 of them he did really well, and 1 he should have done better. So I was quite pleased with his performance, but I'm looking through rose tinted glasses, and it was an awful performance. God, what a horrible match! Full stop, wasn't it?
Well, Slovakia has some great goals, man. Great goals. That second one was a dagger.
Bad defending, though.
A dagger. Wolves will be okay. Wissa turn soon, says Paul Morris.
Oh,
yeah, Congo is going to be playing soon.
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock p.m. Well, we're going to have to watch Tonali, man, unfortunately.
No, in 50 minutes' time.
Oh, yeah, true, actually. Yeah, that's right. So there you go. The Congo, we weren't going to do the Congo. I don't even think we can get it. And so, but it might. What's the flight from Newcastle to Congo? I mean, it has to.
How long?
Yeah. Africa's right there anyway. So
8 hours.
So yeah, man. Imagine, but I guess from Europe to South America is a lot longer, I think. So, but they got to do it all the time, man. It's unbelievable. But it is what it is. Part of playing football. And if players didn't want to play international football, they wouldn't do it. And they want to. They love it. And I love it. International football is proper football. And it is what it is, ladies and gents. So smash the like button, folks. That way, the guys in the UFC, Chris, the cartel are spouting rumors on PIF.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole again.
Guys in the UFC, Chris, the cartel are spouting rumors on the PIF buying Spurs. What's your thoughts? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about that? I don't think it's illegal. Even I don't think it's legal to buy two clubs in the same country.
No, they couldn't have two Prem clubs.
So if your question also adds selling Newcastle, then it's not going to be possible. But it might not be PIF in itself. It might be Qatar. It might be Qatar. The big Qatar.
Here's the thing. If PIF were considering selling Newcastle in order to buy Spurs, where would they be selling it? Who's got the money to buy it?
Qatar, probably. Or
Qatar have already got PSG.
Yeah, but not in the UK.
Yeah, but that means the two teams wouldn't be able to play in the Champions League.
Yeah, they would be.
No, they wouldn't. That's why Crystal Palace are in the Conference League, because one of their directors is a major shareholder in Lyon or Nice, one of the two.
No, it's in somewhere
in the Europa League. Crystal Palace couldn't also be in the Europa League. So
but how can Man United
it wasn't not Palace. Yes, it was Palace. That's why Forest got bumped up to the UEFA.
Yeah, but so you're telling me that Marianakis Olympiacos can't play with if Forest qualifies for the Champions League?
No. What Mariakis did, he put his shares in Panathinaikos into an escrow account, so that he has got no control over it.
But he does,
and that's what the Crystal Palace director didn't do in time. He did it 24 hours too late, because obviously he wasn't expecting Crystal Palace to win the cup. And so Crystal Palace by right should have been in the Europa League as FA Cup winners, but because he had interests in two clubs that would have been in the same competition, was no. So basically, what I'm saying is, if PIF or if Qatar owned Tottenham Hotspur and PSG, they can't both compete in the Champions League.
But anyway, we're going on a hypothetical. I don't think the PIF wants to sell Newcastle.
But what I'm saying is, the only place that's got the money to buy Newcastle United would be America, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That if Saudi decided to sell, we would then get an American conglomerate taking over us.
Well, quite honestly,
and I'm also saying, going on to say, would that necessarily be a bad thing? On the basis that the Yanks are taking over, you far better be inside the tent pissing out than outside the tent pissing in.
Yeah, I don't buy into all that conspiracy, man. That's just American owners are clever and they just buy clubs, plain and simple, just like others. So now I do think sometimes there's a bias when it comes to opinion on it, but the thing is that those American owners have bought clubs that were established, that had income coming, that were established pretty much. Yes, they did. So therefore, that seems like they can do whatever they want. But Chelsea, Arsenal, and Liverpool always could do whatever they want. It's not a new thing. So
American bought Sheffield United.
Yeah, and where's Sheffield at? How does that benefit? What is the benefit in owning Sheffield United? How does that add to the cartel? How does that add to the conspiracy?
They want them in the Premier League because they know that's where the money is.
Okay, then. So what's the issue with that?
Well, you're saying they only buy established.
No, but the point is that people say that American owners get away with everything and Saudi don't.
12 clubs in the Prem are now American owned.
What's wrong with that?
Bournemouth.
Okay, and what is wrong with that? What are they doing? What are they doing that are illegal? What are they doing that it's illegal?
Anything that's illegal.
No, but you paint it as a bad thing.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is they've seen the NFL model and the billions that generates.
Okay,
And
so
they think that they can
so
turn Premier League and
no,
I
they
think
can't, man.
I
They have
think
not. They
they're
have
right.
not done that. They
David
have
Knight,
not done
thank you
that.
very much.
Thank you, David Knight. Says we have just got a CEO who's never been a CEO of football club before. Am I the only one scratching their head and getting hate for saying this? Well, I mean, everybody's got to get an
Well,
opportunity
he
once.
hasn't he
So
hasn't been a CEO of a football club before, but he's been highly prominent on the business side, on the stadium side as well, of Real Madrid, and you don't get much bigger than that.
thank you, David, Knight, for the super chat. Listen, I don't tend to look at things and just keep using the same rhetoric just because it sounds fun.
Madison Square Garden, one of the biggest sports.
Yeah, no, he's got a good portfolio under his belt. So we'll see what he can do. We'll talk about that in a minute because I saw something to come up. But here's my thing. I happen to have a brain, so I just use that one because I have an independent brain. So I just use it, and I don't just keep spouting the same rhetoric just because it sounds fun or it sounds cool. Um, and for example, Kim Kemp says the Americans are buying everything in the UK. They own everything. And what's the issue with that? What's the issue with that? You should have an issue. You and Mighty Win should have an issue with the twats that sell them. Sell to them.
But
They didn't force nobody. They
hang
didn't
on.
force nobody to sell stuff to them.
I've got an issue with Americans buying everything.
You said you have an issue with Americans being in the Premier League because they're going to turn it into the NFL.
I didn't say anything of the sort.
You just talk about the NFL and you said there's an issue because they want to turn it into NFL. That's what you said.
I want to turn it into NFL.
Well, I don't necessarily see what turning into an NFL. What does that mean? Because I don't know what that means. I don't. Well, what would be turning into an NFL? Because a lot of people look at that and say that's a horrible thing. So why?
Well, why is it a horrible thing?
Because all about the Americanize the game. Football is English. Blah blah blah. All the same nonsense.
You see, that's a parochial attitude which a lot of British fans have. I just look at the NFL. I love the NFL, and I think it's a perfect model. For example, the NFL market their own broadcasting rights.
Yeah, but
they don't have to use a third party.
But again, my point is,
all of that money then comes into the game.
My point is, how is that Americanizing? Do you see what I'm saying? It becomes an issue where people say, "Yeah, Americanize our sport. Screw that." Blah blah. How does making having the rights to your own broadcasting become Americanized? That's just something that the NFL does. Nothing to do with the country they're in. Nothing to do with it. The UK can do the same thing. The Premier League can do the same thing. They just don't. And it's plain and simple. But it's not about the country. Anybody can do it. It's not about turning into an American sport all of a sudden.
You don't need to be super defensive about it.
No, I am defensive because if always the people are talking about, I'm tired of Americans coming to the UK and buying our clothes, buying our heritage, buying our culture.
It
is rubbish.
Negative.
But people, some people in the chat says, there you go. They commercialize all sides of life. It's terrible, says Kim Kemp. It's terrible for who?
How's it terrible?
How's it terrible for who? It's making money for everybody involved. How's that terrible?
Exactly.
It's and by the way, how have they done that? The Grunkies have been owning Arsenal for a long time now. A long time. Same thing with the Glazers. How have they commercialized everything to the point where people are losing their identity? And listen, it would be the UK to complain about American owners about losing their identity.
Here's the thing. Travis Ferrari has brought up an excellent point. And this is the one aspect of the NFL, which is, by the way, one of the aspects that makes it as massive as it is the fact that there's no promotion or relegation.
Yeah, but there's
the
no
only
indication.
way you get into the NFL is by buying your way in.
No, you don't actually. No, you don't.
Yes, you do. And the only way you can actually get in is when they very, very occasionally expand it.
There is no indication whatsoever that American owners want to do that with the English Premier League or their clubs.
And it would never happen because promotion and relegation, ergo the draft system, which makes the NFL so competitive.
In American sports altogether.
Yeah, well, yeah, whatever, because promotion and relegation, by and large, doesn't exist in American sport.
No, it doesn't. And there's no issue with that.
And that then evolves into the playoff system, because instead of having tiered levels of so promotion and relegation working their way up and down the divisions, they have geographical divisions. And then for to find the overall winner, you've inevitably got to have a playoff system. Now, I'm not a favour of that at all. We've got to stick with the league system and stick with promotion and relegation.
But nobody's ever even thought of bringing that up. So to talk about it is kind of weird anyway. And I think that
nobody's talking about bringing it up.
That's why I think there's an agenda. There's an agenda. Clearly, it's an agenda against American owners, because not one of them have said, you know what, it'd be interesting to take away promotion and relegation in the Premier League. When you hear that, you can come to me and we can have a discussion about it, and I will criticize that. But not one of them has. Not one. Who? What?
Every single sensible, grown-up, adult conversation about American sport. Americanization of soccer.
I just told you what owner of the Premier League, what American owner of the Premier League,
or what?
No, I'm asking you, because those are irrelevant conversations, because anybody can talk about that. But the people that matter are the owners of these clubs. How and when have they said it would be interesting to take away the promotion and relegation? The Grunkies, the Glazers, the Todd Bowley. When have they ever said that?
Well, they haven't, because
because they don't think about it. Says who? No, they don't.
Of course
they make a lot of money. Let me tell you something. The Glazers have gotten only richer and richer and richer because of Man United. The way it is, they don't need to change anything, man. They're just making billions and billions. The Grunkies the same way. FSG the same way. They don't care. It's only about a paranoia in the UK that thinks that we want to change. No, there's a reason why they bought the teams to begin with, because they already generate money. They add more to it, and they will just multiply their money. They don't have to make these changes, man.
Yeah, and they were the pioneers. They came and did it. And why is everybody following them from America?
But it's an obvious thing, Win. No, it's an obvious thing. It's saying, you know what? If I buy Burnley, I'll make a lot of money. Burnley, I'll make a lot of money. What's wrong with that? I want to buy a club and make money. That doesn't mean that I'm trying to, put, I don't know, adverts or commercialize everything, which I don't see the wrong in that, by the way. But some people do think there's something wrong about it. I don't see that. I don't see that. Just it's the same as I don't see an issue with Saudi owners doing the same thing. What do you think Saudi owners want to do? You think Saudi owners say they want to do? Oh my God, the Americans are taking over. Let me save the Premier League. No, they all want money. They all care about money. They want to triple their money, and the Saudis have done that with Newcastle United. Qatar was interested in buying Manchester United as well as Tottenham, and it might happen, by the way, if the State League is in that stuff. You know why? Because they want to make money, not because they want to change it into. It's all BS, man. Propaganda, BS. Plain and simple. Ding, ding, ding. You lose, Win. Stop trying. And by the way, you're the biggest hypocrite anyway. You're the biggest hypocrite anyway, because you always talk about how you want to bring games to America and all of that crap, and then you don't want to Americanize the sport. It's utter rubbish, man.
I do wonder how many more times. I want to turn everything. I want to Americanize everything except promotion and relegation.
Well, first of all, I don't see the wrong in making money. You go to the Emirates and it's all adverts.
I don't see anything wrong in making money either.
But it's about it's about being hypocrites. Because we talk about we can't Americanize everything, but you go to all kinds of stadiums and they got all kinds of adverts all over the place.
It's been spouting on for months and months and months about I'm completely for Game 39. Which is taking the Premier League all over the world. Not necessarily if America put the biggest bids in for Game 39, then great, they can have it.
For example,
been spouting on for years and years and years about a stop clock on the pitch so we get 60 minutes ball and play
I
and
think it's
eliminate time wasting.
I think the game. I think the game is fine.
Who was spouting on and on about VAR long before it came in, after they'd had it in every other sport for years and years and years? Me.
Look, Anthony Darling here says at the end, this is the reason why they wanted to create the Super League, because
Correct.
they want promotion. No, the Americans wanted to create a Super League. Really.
Yes.
When the ones in charge of that was Florentino Perez and Laporta, that are presidents of Real Madrid and Barcelona, and Juventus on top of that as well. Get out of here, man. Talking about Americans. It's mixing again a narrative agenda. I know, I get it. It's just like it's cool. It's cool in the UK to go against Americans, although you look for it for everything.
Logic.
But it's not logic when you got the biggest clubs in the world leading that. The Super League was led by Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Juventus. So you tell me, is American owners were they? Yeah, Arsenal I think was part of it. Yeah, but they just the big clubs that don't want to go to Red Star to play and they don't want to go to Kosovo to play. Yeah, they want to do that. It has nothing to do with being American. That's the problem. But anyways, I'm sure the sky's blue, so it's America's fault. It is what it is. Although you look at it for everything. So, and pick your poison, man. Pick your poison. All right, so. Let's talk about the CEO thing. David Hopkinson is Newcastle United's new chief executive, charged with taking the club global and fast. How can he do that? We can decide. We can talk about it a little bit. He is described as dripping with ambition, demands urgency, and the perfect choice for a challenger club like Newcastle. But can executive with a track record of commercial success in North American sports and European giants Real Madrid do the same in the political world of the Premier League? Well, that is a good question, and an article posted by Chris Wolf. Can he do that? But look, he's American, and PIF thought, hey, look, he's a perfect guy for the job. He's not a twat. He's not trying to take Newcastle to America or take away promotion or relegation. He just, could be a good CEO. Because citizenship means nothing. It's about capability and skill. How about that?
He's Canadian, not American.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing. 51st state. So there you go. Anyway, so can we talk about Hopkinson? How can he?
Not the 52nd after Greenland.
Well, it'd be 53rd after you guys become one. So anyway,
hey, bring it on, I see.
Exactly. You see, Americanize everything. Look at this twat is a hypocrite, man. Get out of here.
I would love to be the America's aircraft carrier.
Anyway, how can he take us? How can Newcastle United be a global entity? How can we do that in not shorter term, but I mean, it's got to happen rather quickly. I mean, you got to make steps towards it. It can't take 10 years. I know that.
It's so simple. It's untrue. What you got to do is win football matches.
Yeah, but it's
as simple as that. How do you become a global entity? You start winning.
Yeah, that's true. But that has to do with people on the pitch, the coach, the manager. But the CEO can't just sit there in his laurels and just say, I hope Eddie Howe wins everything.
Well, that's all. Whatever the CEO has one purpose in life, and that's to get those 11 men on the pitch winning more points and winning more trophies. And
that's fine. Again, that's an obvious thing. But what a CEO has to do more than just sitting around and hoping that we win. He's getting paid a lot of money to do stuff.
He's got to put the building blocks in place for that to happen.
Fucking hell, man. So so he's just gonna sit in his office and wonk about, get his dodgy stick, and watch every game, hoping and praying that we win. No, man, he gotta do stuff.
He's gonna use all his intelligence to appoint the right people, to do the right things, to get the right money coming in to support it. That's what he's gonna do.
Jordy, then if David Hopkinson messes up the CEO, we can all sing "Blame Canada, Blame Canada." There you go. I think he has to think outside the box, and he has to look for options. I think his capability of having
winning trophies and follow the FSG blueprint. Indeed,
Thank you, Matty Gorman. Thank you very much indeed. He is also there by making us global. He
By
is
the
going
way,
to create income.
just for Matty, our Liverpool interlocutor, I seem to remember about 3, 4, 5, and 6 years ago, all of those FSG out, FSG out, FSG out coming off the cup.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, guys in the chat, just
When
keep
you were like us for 3 windows and never spent a penny.
Guys in the chat, just keep the politics out of it. I mean, I guess people just can't just move on with it. Laura asking if I'm okay. I am wonderful. I'm wonderful. Make Newcastle great again. Well, nothing wrong with that phrase at all. No, who's going to be? You're a Newcastle fan. You want Newcastle to be great again. What's wrong with that? Is Chris okay? Asking Laura. I am okay, but when we start the show attacking America just because it just happens to be America.
Who was attacking America?
I have an issue with that. I have an issue. I have a huge issue with that. It is because just because American owners are in the Premier League, all of a sudden that means that the world's gone mad. And I think you guys got bigger fish to fry when it comes to that, Mr. UK people. So
hang on, who said American owners in the Premier League is bad?
Don't say that it hasn't been talked about, that they want to change the game, that they want to take over, that they want a promotion, take away. It is all rubbish, man. It's rubbish. It's rubbish. You know what I am. You know what I am when I'm consistent and I'm objective. I'm the same every time, and the same as I defend and I criticize the cartel for sending emails for changing the rules against Newcastle United because because the Saudis are from Saudi, they don't want. I don't even think it's about people being from the Middle East. It's about the fact that they have 20 million times the money that the owners in the Premier League have. So all of a sudden it means that they're going to buy their way into Newcastle United. They're going to buy their way into winning every single thing. And they don't want that, so they put the rule in there. I have an issue with that. And so I also have an issue with people just saying American owners are the biggest scum of the world. So I have an issue. I have an issue with both. You see what I'm saying? I am consistent and I'm objective. That is the issue that people don't.
But you're defending something that's never been said. Tony Ross, thank you for the gifted membership, which has gone to Racontra Jack. So Racontra Jack, I haven't seen you before, but welcome.
And yes, the truth ask a question for us. I have a question. What was it that made you stop answering people's questions? Was it the super chats came first, or just ignore my comments? Because for a channel that started all question, well, of course they're welcome. But when the chat gets going, buddy, we have to.
Did you put a queue in front?
Here's the thing. Yeah, super chats come first because they are paying people that want to have their comment out there, and it is what it is. And if the chat is got 20 million chats on, sometimes we're going to overlook questions. It is what it is, man. If you were sitting over here, the chat is like that, like a damn wheel, just going up and down, up and down, up and down, and sometimes we can't read everything. So
we do
what we can,
specifically for a queue in front, and
we do what we can. Certainly, we do what we can. Jordy Dan, Wayne loves America. He was on the Bloody Mayflower. Chris Chan says someone give Chris a hug. Nobody has a problem with America.
Know what the Mayflower was.
Would not attack America, Chris. Your country prevented Soviets overrun in Europe. There you go. So cheers, Alan Mamartri. America and the UK together. Yeah, it is. But it's anyway. Let's get back to the Hopkins situation because I want to know how we can become a better marketing, a global club, and the fact that he has ties with Madison Square Garden, we can even have do something with Real Madrid if he had a good relationship with them. We gotta be put in the shopping window. Newcastle United all over the place. I think that he's gonna have to help us. Create a better, I guess you can say, create more money, more revenue, more eyes on Newcastle United. That's his job. His job is not to sit around and wait until Eddie Howe wins everything. That's impossible. If that's the case, if that's his strategy, he needs to be sacked today. So he needs to work on it.
And who's, that's not a strategy. But by the way, it's because you put a little queue in front in UFC. Chris, how can you lie to fans saying Saudi, I think you mean tripled, Saudi has tripled their money? Do you know the Saudi have spent 1.3 billion to buy Newcastle and then 700 million in transfers? Well, let's just put that into perspective. They paid 300,000 to buy Newcastle, and you're referring to the 1 billion that they had to pay being compensation for violating the TV rates. That had nothing to do with Newcastle, other than the fact that they effectively had to do it in order to get past the right and proper owners test. So it wasn't directly related to Newcastle. So that's the first thing. And they got a lot of benefits from that £1 billion television deal. They got the £1 billion worth of TV benefits from that. Prior to that, they were getting those for nothing. So they ended up having to pay for what they already had for free. So they paid 300,000 for Newcastle, and they've spent 700,000 in transfers in 4 years, during which time they have earned considerably more than that. Witness the fact that the club was worth 300,000 when they bought it, and it's now conservatively valued at 3 billion. So if you look at the 300,000 they put in and the 700,000 pound transfers, they have tripled their money.
So there you go.
Answers your question.
We got some good comments here from the chat about Hopkinson, and some say Kevin Bell says, if we do become more global, it's inevitable that we will lose a little bit of our own local identity. It will change. It might be careful what we wish for, but it definitely needs to happen and to grow. I don't think the identity needs to change.
All I've ever wanted to see is Newcastle United winning stuff.
Look,
and as long as Newcastle United are winning stuff, I'm a happy bunny.
Here's the thing. I don't think you will lose your. I don't know what you would think about losing your identity means, really.
Newcastle United will never lose its local identity.
It will never. Just like Liverpool has never lost its identity. You go to Liverpool, they're passionate fans, and Liverpool is known for their atmosphere worldwide. Newcastle United, I think, is better, but it just has to be out there for people to know. And the bigger the club gets, and that's going to get more. That's going to be more and more out there. So I don't think that's going to happen. Now you're going to have more international fans, and I mean, some people quite honestly do have an issue with. Some people do have an issue with that. That some people do, but not the vast majority. The vast majority don't care. But it is what it is. And people from different countries are people from different countries, so you can't really change their cultural way of living. But they follow Newcastle United, so it doesn't make them less of a fan than anybody. So it just is what it is. It's just part of it, and like you said, Kevin,
a lot of
it has
them
to happen.
Constantly tell us it makes them actually more of a fan, because it's a hell of a lot harder to be a Newcastle United fan in Australia and in Malaysia,
in America,
because of all the time differences and things like that.
It's criminal,
and especially as far as Newcastle United is concerned, because you're kind of dwarfed by the amount of Arsenal, Man U, cartel fans that are there historically.
There are some people that will tell you that
it's much harder to be a Newcastle United fan.
There's some people that tell you that
and it's easy to be a Newcastle fan in Newcastle because
there's no other option.
That's all there is.
And
long may that continue.
But it's we gotta educate people. I guess more or less local people, because they can have this misconception that people are armchair fans and plastic fans. But let me tell you something. To follow a team, you don't ever, unless you make a big effort money-wise, you will never see. And especially if they haven't been winning anything. It's not easy, bro. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. But even then, if Newcastle becomes a really big club and you start winning stuff, it's not a bad thing to follow because of that. It is what it is. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with following Newcastle because they let's say the Carabao Cup and that doesn't have many eyes to it, but maybe some people did become a fan after that.
It's a start.
What is an issue with that? There's no issue with somebody saying, "Oh, I want to be a Newcastle fan now." What is it? Nothing wrong with that.
Kevin Bell, with regard to Hopkinson, Newcastle's biggest issue to resolve is revenue. Absolutely correct.
Now, we got a super chat coming in there. Thank you very much indeed to Mr. Random Access. £20 for Mr. Random.
Oh, thank
you very much, buddy. When it comes to who owns NUFC, I have no interest in where people are from. Put it up again, man. And where people are from, my interest is in their character and integrity. Exactly. 100%. 100%, man. 100%. You know, it is what it is, man. People are from wherever.
My only interest in whoever owns Newcastle United is putting the best players we can get on the pitch. And the last time that happened to massive effect was with Sir John Hall. Because that was when we were the entertainers. That was when we really got some global attention then, even though at the time, sadly, it wasn't the Premier League, so it didn't have the global clout that the Premier League has. And the one thing that was, listen, Hall made millions out the club, Shepherd made millions out the club, but we also saw millions on the pitch. We were the biggest spenders in the league, bigger even than Man United at one time. We're still, I go on, we're still the only British club ever to break the world transfer record. And that was paid for with Geordie bums on seats. And did Hall make a lot of money out of it? Yeah, but look what we had. Look what we had while he was making money. Anybody want to come in here and make money by making us successful on the pitch, they've got my full support.
I mean, and it would have been better to have Geordie's bums on seats and also worldwide fans watching from the screen.
Yeah, well, that wasn't around at the time, unfortunately.
What I'm saying, it's better.
And what happened was we got Ashley at the very time that the Premier League was kicking off, and that was our downfall because he just saw the £100 million every year, or the 30 million as it was when it started.
Paul Max has a question here. It says Hopkinson needs to appoint his own choice for sporting director, not Ross Wilson, who seems handpicked by Eddie Howe before CEO arrived, setting up the problems down the line, in my honest opinion. Yep. I think, I don't know who appointed Ross, but the CEO needs to be the one that appoints the DOF and basically everybody below him, which Ross will be under.
It's up to whichever DOF he appoints, it's up to him then to appoint everybody below him.
Yeah, but the CEO has to appoint, has to do that. So has to appoint the DOF first, and we'll see. Maybe he thinks Ross will be. I don't know. He'll have to assess, I guess. Anyway, so let me see some. We got some comments, some good ones earlier on about this whole. If we get our stadium, we can host our own sporting events this time. What time and tide? What's happened with that as well? It's another thing that we haven't heard of. Is the new stadium? You know, the club did put up a timeline, and it hasn't been met. So what's happened with the new stadium?
A report came out yesterday in the Chronicle, I believe it was, saying that there was going to be an announcement on the new stadium before the end of the month. Well, so we're waiting with bated breath for
that. Stephen Cook says, I've got faith he'll increase our revenue. I worry he will block spending, though, after Mitchell. I think that's a reasonable concern. Well, it just depends if we can spend on that.
The only reason to increase revenue is so that you can spend. He hasn't been appointed by the Saudis to make money. Well, he hasn't. He has indirectly. But whoever owns the club, doesn't matter who it is, know that the only way the club can make money is by being successful on the pitch.
Yeah.
You know, Mike Ashley showed what.
But it's not the only way, though.
There is another way. If you want to penny pinch and make money, as Ashley did, you can do that just by avoiding relegation.
It's not the only way to make money, man. He can't just sit around waiting for us to win something. He has to do things. He has to use his connections. He has to put us everywhere. He has to make friendlies with Real Madrid. He got to take us to New York, to take us to Broadway, Newcastle in New York. You know, he has to do all of that. That is what a proper CEO does, man. You can't just sit around and say, well, we'll see what Eddie Howe can do. No, that don't work like that, brother. That's not what he's getting paid for. He's getting paid for it to get us in the eyes of everyone.
Again, why are you bringing it down to Eddie Howe?
I never said Eddie Howe. No, you're the one that said that he has to wait for us to win something.
You can't leave it up to Eddie Howe.
Because you're saying that he has to wait for us to win something. No, he doesn't have to wait.
No, his job is to enable us to win something. That's his sole purpose in life.
No.
To provide the wherewithal
that we
can win something.
Yeah, we have to create revenue so the club can have money, so the DOF so the DOF and Eddie Howe can speak and agree on something and get players and win something. Aside from that, he needs to create revenue for the club. He needs to put us in the eyes of everyone. That's his job as well. It's not about waiting for the club to win something.
Why does he need to create revenue?
So we're a big club. Simple.
He needs to create revenue so that we've got money to spend on players who can win stuff. That's his sole object in life.
No, it isn't. See, that's the issue with you. His job as a CEO. You know what a CEO does, bro? He is in charge of everything Newcastle United. He needs to put us in the map. He needs to put us in the map. It's not just about football. That's what the director of football is.
How do you put Newcastle United on the map?
Fucking hell, man.
By being successful on the pitch, and that's the only way. That's the only way. The only way Newcastle United can...
No, that's not the only way. No.
How else can you do it?
You can do a lot of things to make us global. I just told you, man. Create friendlies. Get revenue up. Take us places where people see us, where people in the world see us. You can do a lot of commercial deals. You can do all of that.
Have you heard of television? Do you have television in America?
Yeah.
How do you think?
We can watch everything over here, by the way. We're not limited to anything.
How do you think you watch all of your football, all of your clubs, all of your brands? You watch it on television. You don't have to go there.
What? What are you on about, man?
You can create friendlies. You think his job in life is to create friends?
No.
Shut up, man.
No. You are talking utter nonsense, and the chat knows it now. Arsenal greatly increased revenue without winning. They haven't won a damn thing.
Arsenal.
Why?
Arsenal became. I'll tell you why. Because Arsenal became the brand that they are at the birth of the Premier League when they were bloody winning stuff.
No, I'm talking about now. They've increased their revenue now. Now they have a lot of money. In the last 10 to 20 years.
Because they were the success stories at the
start. How Spurs have one of the teams that win most money in the Premier League and they haven't won until last year nothing. Exactly. You have no answer. Because Daniel Levy is an unbelievable businessman. He's an unbelievable businessman.
At the start of the Premier League.
No.
Spurs were successful.
Yeah. No, they weren't, man. What are you talking about?
I like they're one of the two London Giants.
And they ain't no London Giant. They're only Giant because of Arsenal. But regardless, now Spurs has a lot of money. They complain that they don't spend it, but now they call it the Disney of London. So they have done that because Daniel Levy is an unbelievable businessman, and that's what we need. So that's what we need. Somebody that's an incredible businessman that can create opportunities, that can create sponsorship deals, that can make us a bigger brand.
Did you hear?
He doesn't have.
Did you hear?
He doesn't have to wait until Eddie Howe wins the Champions League here in the next 20 years. No.
Did you hear what Levy said yesterday in his interview when he left Spurs?
What? What did he say?
Oh, he said all of the revenue that's been generated at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium has only been generated to make the team successful. Spurs have always been one of the biggest spenders.
Yeah. No sugarcoat. They have not spent money whatsoever in the last 5 years, man.
Stand said it all. 24 years, 16 managers, 1 trophy. And that's why he's doing a poxy job.
It's an obvious thing that it's a football.
Billions and billions of revenue, but he's been incapable of spending it properly.
It's an obvious thing that yes, as a football club, you have to win, you have to compete, and that's an obvious thing. But he can't just sit around waiting to get Champions League money every year, and that's his source of income, and that's the way he makes the club big. That's one way of doing it. But he, as a CEO, has to work multiple outlets. He is in charge of the whole thing, man. He needs to be able to make us a global brand without having to win every single trophy forever. No. Again, the biggest examples, Arsenal and Tottenham, haven't won anything, if anything at all. And they have a lot of money. They're self-sufficient. Why? Because they made themselves bigger in global brands. They're famous in the United States. They're famous everywhere else. They have to do that. Plain and simple. He has to do that as a CEO. He can't just sit around and wait for Eddie Howe to win something. It's that's not what his job is, bro. Fucking hell, man. I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
No, you don't get it. That's your problem.
No, I don't. I guess the chat doesn't either. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Charles Ferrari, the first step to generate revenue, you need the revenue. You need the revenue to grow your brand. How do you grow your brand? You got to put us in the eyes of everyone. For some,
and how would you get in the eyes of everybody? By being successful on the pitch.
Yeah, that'll take 10 years.
Yeah.
So what do you do meanwhile?
It hasn't taken us 10 years.
Are we successful?
I'm pretty sure we're successful, huh?
Okay. Fucking hell. We won the Carabao Cup, all right?
Well,
listen, it's just different. It's just different standards. That's fine. That's fine. I get it now. It's just different standards. You know, fans have different standards.
Carabao Cup's not good enough for you, is it not?
No, it is, but it's not the end all be all. That's not.
Nobody's saying it is.
Okay, then. So our global brand is not huge right now.
Correct.
So again, we gotta do things.
Because we're fun fuck all.
Exactly, Gavin. I appreciate you that, man. This is becoming a global brand is about getting the team and NUFC as a brand worldwide, more overseas tours, global sponsorship. Exactly, man. Exactly. And a person like him, like a CEO, along with the twats below him, Silverstone, if he wants to keep him or sack him, I'm giving him an idea there. Need to figure out a way to get us a lot of money, to get us bigger deals and sponsorships, to get a bigger brand. That's what Arsenal did. That's what Arsenal did. Yeah, exactly. That's what Arsenal did with the Emirates.
With the more money, we're going to be able to buy better players and pay them bigger salaries. So we're not going to get outbid when we go for players that we want.
Fucking hell.
That's the only objective of raising money. Obviously, you want to make money for the owners. But the only way, with a football club, the only way you can make you can do stuff with the stadium and make money that way. But the money you make has to improve the team on the pitch. It's only success on the pitch that's ever going to grow your brand globally. Going and doing a tour to Japan or in South Korea is not going to do note for you.
Well, it is actually.
Two shirt sales.
No. See, again, fucking hell, I'm glad you're not running my company because you're fucking knackered, man. If that's your only way of thinking, and that's the problem, you're so narrowed, man, on your thinking. And that's the issue. Nobody said that winning doesn't do anything. Of course, winning does do anything, but it takes a lot of time.
Winning
so meanwhile,
look,
the CEO can last 1 year, man. Look at Darren Eales. Unfortunately, he had to leave. You know, so he has to go to Newcastle, hit the ground running. He has to get stuff done. He has to get deals done. That's what he has to do, bro. Plain and simple.
His job is to build revenue that can be spent on the team.
Exactly. Why are the Dallas Cowboys the biggest sports brand in the well? I don't know about in the world, but in America, it's certainly extremely famous. It has not won a damn thing in the last 100 years. It's certainly not because of the constantly winning. Same thing with Tottenham. Same thing with Arsenal. Same thing with you can
Dallas
mention many clubs.
Cowboys is very, very much. Bear in mind, Texas. If Texas was
For example,
if Texas was
you don't know nothing about Texas, man. Get on with it.
It would be the 10th biggest economy in the world.
Get out of here. It has nothing to do with anything, man. What is this guy talking
And
about?
Dallas Cowboys are a Texas brand. They're very much like Newcastle.
So what happened to the Houston Astros? What happened to all those teams that are in Texas? They're not fucking relevant. So
are they as big as the Dallas Cowboys?
Exactly. Why? But they're in Texas. They're in the mighty powerful Texas state of Texas. No, it has nothing to do with that, man. They done great, making them that club global once upon a time, and it stayed that way. So that's what we need to do.
There's not a single American football team's ever been global.
Yeah. RSL wins. I'm sorry, but you're a dinosaur. There are multiple ways to increase revenue off the field. Exactly, man. It just makes no sense, you know.
Yeah. Okay, RSL, I agree with you, and that's his job to get that revenue from anywhere.
Okay, then. So that's what I'm talking about.
Why do you need the revenue? Oh yes, so I can buy better players and pay higher salaries to be more successful on the pitch. Yeah, God.
Who's denied that? Nobody's denied that. But you're saying that we need to win in order to become a bigger brand or a bigger club or generate money. When it's the opposite.
We'll be unable to win and compete with the big boys unless we generate more revenue. And that's his job, to generate more revenue. You brought Eddie Howe into it and all the rest of it.
Because you said that we need to win, and that's down to Eddie Howe, isn't it? Or who's in charge of winning now?
It doesn't matter who's in charge. They're not going to be able to do it without money to spend.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, you're arguing against yourself there, so it's all right. Anyway, we got some news out there to share rather quickly. Dan Burn has more and more aerial duels in 161 than any other Premier League player since the start of last season. So that's interesting because he doesn't seem like that type of guy. Defensively, maybe. Offensively, not much there. But
just the first goal in the cup final, not much there.
Yeah, just one. But just one. When it comes to statistics, it's one.
Just a goal in the Champions League against PSG. Not much there.
Yeah, that almost didn't go in, did it? Anyway, so Magpie, it's been shared here that
his job is to defend.
Well, exactly. So that's good. So I pointed the facts. You got offended by it again. But it's just my mistake talking about Eddie Howe and Dan Burn. So I guess that's sacrilege for you. To any normal human being that likes to think straight, it is what it is. Let me go with Lewis Miley. Apparently suggested that he wanted. Hold on.
That must have all been in defence, not much up top. Your words, not mine.
Somebody, Jordy Dan was giving me a call. All good, Jordy Dan. By the way, Grim Bailey saying that Lewis Miley suggested he wanted to leave on loan this summer for some first-team football with Ipswich interested. All of this according to Grim Bailey. I guess he's not too much happy with his playing time. Like Kobe Mainoo, they're not happy. They want to be out on loan. So
couldn't blame him, to be fair.
Well, I mean, obviously nothing. Well, you can still loan players out, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think he's ready yet. I still, despite I've had a few arguments with people about that. I think when he came in, it was great. A local lad, and everybody wanted to see all the good that he did, which he did. He did a lot of good things, but he wasn't the budding superstar. I didn't feel that everybody else thought he was. And I was shouted down because he's a young lad and because he's only 17, man. And that's exactly the point. I was making allowances for the fact he was only 17 and consequently thinking that he did very well because he was only 17. But if you are comparing him to everybody, he didn't really do that well. The reason he looked as though he was doing well was because he was just 17. He was just 17, if you know what I mean. And the way he looked was way beyond compare. How can I play with another? Woo!
Michael has a message for you, man. Michael, don't worry, man. It is what it is.
How can you work with that senile old fart? He's so argumentative. What was the last bit? Wow, he needs help. You would need help if you had to work with this geezer here.
Well, you would certainly need help. So yeah, I think Lewis Miley would probably not quite ready, if you will, to be a starter. But few players would be be starting in this midfield. So the big issue is, how do you keep players happy on the bench, and that's a big task.
That's one of the manager's
because
job.
for example, Chow comes in and he thinks he might be ready, and I think we all would like to see him. But he probably won't sub out Shar forever, until Shar completely does something disgraceful. He has to make a change. So
I think when we say 2 games a week, they will alternate. As I think will Burn and Botman alternate when we get to 2 games a week. Now it's going to be interesting to see who he picks for which games.
Here's the thing, that is a myth. You always play your best team for the Champions League and the Premier League. Those teams never change. So those 2 games a week, in my opinion, won't change at all. The lineups won't change at all, unless an injury or suspension. Now, if your 2 games a week,
and that's the other thing, of course.
But if your 2 games a week becomes about the Carabao Cup and the Premier League, yeah, you will see a weaker team in the Premier League. I mean, sorry, in the Carabao Cup. But that's, I mean, if I'm Malik Chow, I'm not happy. I mean, I'll play anything. He'll be a competitor. He's gonna perform. But he wants to play. Everybody wants to play the Champions League and Premier League. And I'm not sure. Waiting for players to make mistakes is a double-edged sword. I'm not sure it's a. I mean,
yeah, I mentioned that earlier on, Jordy Dan.
Yeah, and Ramsdale making a mistake. I mean, sorry, Pope making a mistake for Ramsdale to come in. Why do we have to lose points for that to happen? It almost feels like he wants approval from the fans, kind of to the story that you were talking about, Isak, but and Callum Wilson, which again he would have been heavily criticized if that happened. Another player that could have left was Osula. According to the outlet, The Bild believes that Osula is likely to move on in January, and that Frankfurt could make another bid for him, with his game time now set to be limited following the arrival of Waldemar and Joen Vissa. So that can still have something happening in the winter window. Still, quite honestly, it's not even that long from now. We're September, man. It's very nearby.
Sorry, what is it?
Pay attention, for fuck's sake, man. You keep doing that too. You keep finding around all over the place. Pay attention.
I'm scrolling through the chat to see if we're missing anything.
Well, stop. If you can't do 2 things at once, pay attention and talk, man. That's what you're mainly here for. Stop trying to do. You're not an engineer over here. Come on now. Pay attention. Osula in The Bild saying that he might leave in January on loan or move on permanently because he's not happy on playing time either. So that's another playing time issue with a player. Rightly so.
Who I don't believe is anywhere near first team ready.
But you would keep Miley.
I wouldn't necessarily keep either. No, I would let them both go out on loan.
Yeah, but why? If you don't think Osula is, you said Osula is not good. You've said that.
Yeah, I have.
So why would you keep him at all?
I haven't said he's not good.
You say he's not good, man. Come on, man.
He's not good enough to start a game. I don't think.
Yeah. Another person that we had to get rid of, and probably got rid of the wrong one, and now he's taken off, Mr. Elliot Anderson for England. Let's take a listen to his comments on leaving Newcastle United.
Transfer window's just shut, but last summer you left your boyhood club that you joined at the age of 8. It must have been quite an uncertain time. What would you say to that bit of uncertainty when you say now European champions and England's senior caller?
Yeah, definitely. It was sort of a tough move at the time. But I think ultimately I probably wouldn't be sat here now if I didn't make the move. So I think sometimes you've got to sort of step out of your comfort zone and and believe in yourself, which is sort of what I'd done. I believed I was ready to go and play in the Premier League every week. So yeah, as I say, I don't think I would be in this position now if I didn't do it.
Transfer window's just shut, but
So there you go. That was Mr. Anderson on leaving Newcastle.
Absolutely spot on. And I hope he comes back one day.
He might if he comes good. If he doesn't, it's not good.
When Bruno's hanging up his boots, wouldn't that be lovely? Go and buy him back for a new British record fee.
How old is Anderson?
22, 23. He was playing for the under-21s last summer.
Bruno's like 24, man. What do you mean hanging up his boot? By the time Bruno hangs his boot, it's over with Will Anderson.
Yeah, I'm saying by then Elliot Anderson could be the best midfielder in the world, and we'll go and buy him back.
Oh man, this I swear, man. These happy. I wish Colin would have stayed with us because it's happy clapping show, man. It does my nut in.
22 years old, 23 in November.
So by the time Bruno is irrelevant, so will Anderson. So I don't want him if he's not. By the time Bruno gets
right now, as good as he is Anderson better than Tonali? Is he better than Bruno?
No, not at all.
Well, so if he'd stayed at Newcastle, he would have still been on the bench.
Yeah.
And that could well be the way Lewis Miley is looking at his situation. And I hope that, if Lewis has had a listen to what he's just said there, Elliot said, but I had confidence and I had to step out of my comfort zone. And let's see if Miley can do it. Can you imagine that? Get rid of them both. And then 5-6 years' time, when they're at that peak, we'll buy the new Lampard and Gerrard. And they come back to their hometown. That was always my dream, to see 11 Geordies in black and white shirts. Yeah. Came close with the entertainers. We got halfway there.
We got a break in here from, thank you, Connor, from the Chronicle. Dan Byrne has spoken about Isak and the Isak situation. He's very clear, no animosity whatsoever. He said we wanted the transfer window to shut so we can get a bit of clarity on it. I have been in football long enough to understand that for a player, careers are short. For me, it is a tough situation because Alex is a mate, so you want him to be around helping the team, but I have nothing but good wishes for Alex, said Dan Byrne. And does
that make him poisonous the way you are?
I never said he's poisonous.
No,
never said Gordon was poisonous.
Well, Gordon, we had the segment in the show when Gordon and Botman had put heart emojis on their messages to Isak, and everybody was saying there was something wrong with that.
Yeah,
which I couldn't understand.
I think that's weird. And Dan Byrne
there were red hearts. I mean, what that sort of heart is that?
Well, there's multiple colors on the emojis. So
which color heart signifies love?
There's just multiple hearts, man. What are you talking about? Either way, that is something deliberate. Dan Byrne didn't post anything. He was asked in the press conference, so he had no choice. But he can't just say, "I'm not going to answer that question." No, he had no choice. The other guys deliberately put, especially after the fact as well, where it could have been easily avoided. And in today's world, he didn't say, Byrne didn't put up a message supporting him. He just basically answered a question when he was asked by a reporter. Gordon and Botman, in my opinion, took a stance.
Didn't support him either. Just said, "Wish you well."
If you want to support, if you want to support your mate, just call him in. And I'm sure they have texts, so it makes no sense to me. But listen, I might be nitpicking, but once again, it proves that the American Mag. It proves that the American Mag is always objective and using critical thought on his statements. Because I couldn't criticize Dan Byrne, but I'm not going to criticize him on this situation because he's absolutely correct. He's absolutely correct. Now, Powell, they're friends at the end of the day. Who, me and Win? Well, you're lying.
No, I think he's talking about Dan Burn and Isak.
Exactly. Jordy Dan, someone asked Joe Linton. Exactly. But there you go. Good stuff from it. By the way, talking about Isak quickly, Toni Kroos threw in a dagger. Did you hear about that?
Well, I know Toni Kroos became a Newcastle fan.
Oh, well, he is a proper Jordy now, boy. He's a proper Jordy. When he was asked on his podcast about Isak, and he said, Isak joining Liverpool for a lot of money, he asked. I trust our listeners, as the listeners brought that up. But I would tell you that more or less have never heard of Isak. Judge for yourself, seriously. He said he never heard of Isak, man. So that's a proper Jordy now. Even if he listen, and some people in X, saying there you go. Legends don't know who Isak is, blah blah blah. Whether he knew or not.
This is unusual. Kevin Bell on my side. Come on, man. You're just looking for controversy here with Gordon and Botman. It's just a couple of people wishing the pal well in his career. No grown adult should have a problem with this. Thank you. See, all the chat agree with me, as you keep on saying.
Gary, we'll never send each other hearts, man. You should see me and the Mighty Win. People think that we hate each other. We do, but the thing is, we talk every day, nonstop. I think it's a shame because I would rather not talk to this guy ever, but we have to talk to each other every day. And our chat is filled with F bombs left and right all the time. So this never stops because he is as thick as a whale sandwich, trust me. And but listen, I love the guy. He's a great guy, so it is what it is. It is what it is. But people
I wish I could see this here.
Exactly. So, but it is what it is, and there's no issues. It is true, it's honesty, it's transparency, man. Trust me, folks. I rather tell you that he's putting up a farce for the channel, but he isn't. He's really this thick.
It's like a marriage. You've got to keep your wife in order.
Yeah. By the way, just a quick shout out to Mitrovic. By the way, went to Al Rayyan. Has been completed. Former Toon player from Al Hilal. We could have used him.
I would have had him.
They scored a lot of goals, made a lot of money. Bruno Guimarães scored for Brazil yesterday as well, so that's a good one, and good for him. And sadly, obviously, player passed away for Newcastle United, Barry Thomas, at the age of 88. 88. He passed away yesterday.
And I forward the very first game I ever saw.
Damn. All right, we're not going to dwell too much on that. Oh, fucking hell. That was a long time ago.
Signed him from Barrow Town.
So, a prolific center forward, Barry scored 50 times in 78 competitive appearances for the club. Our thoughts are with his family and friends as Newcastle United. So there you go, 1937 to 2025, Mr. Barry Thomas passed away yesterday. So there you go. Last but not least, just a mention to if you want to support and donate, it's an emergency situation for a Newcastle fan. One of the lads is in induced coma following an accident in Ibiza. Let me see if I can share here. It's a lad, I think he went on vacation or on holiday, as you call it. Some people have seen it around, so I thought why not just share it and so people can donate to his cause. His friends have set up a crowdfunder to pay towards an emergency flight home. Please repost and get Kane home. Newcastle fans, there you go. Had an accident. He's had, I think, lung issues, and I don't know really what's happened, but they're trying to bring him back to Newcastle. So there you go. If you can, go to Newcastle United Supporters Club on X, and there's a link there for justgiving.com, and you can support the lad. Hopefully he can pull through. I don't know what's going on there, but or what happened, but either way, there you go. Anyways, folks, we gotta go. We gotta call it a day. Tonight, 7:20 p.m. 7:20 p.m. We'll be live with the Sandro Tonali watch along. Me and Win, Italy, Estonia, and we'll talk. We'll have a good time. Good banta.
Oh, Congo nearly scored.
Oh, Congo, man. Is Wissa playing?
Yep.
There you go. So, anyways, folks, thank you very much, all of you, for supporting the channel. It's been a lovely one. It's been a great one. And yeah, we'll be back again 7:20 p.m. on NUFC Talk TV. And hey, listen, some things are being cooked. Some things are being cooked. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So stay tuned. We've created We've created Mighty Win's OnlyFans account. So if you want to subscribe, if you want to see Mighty Win's feet, it might be coming up soon. Anyways, we'll see you later, folks. Take care. Have a good one. Away the lads. Lasses in bed. Bye-bye.